Clarity on Fire, a podcast for people who know what they don't want out of their life and career, but aren't sure what they'd rather be doing.
In a world where it's easy to exist, but hard to feel alive, we, Kristen
and Rachel,
2 certified life and career coaches, are here to help you cut through the information overload, get unstuck, and focus not just on how you can have a career you're passionate about, but how to create a whole life that feels fulfilling.
So join us here, where we serve up inspiration and down-to-earth wisdom in a way that only 2 best friends can.
We want you to experience the relief of knowing that, yes, you're allowed to want more out of your life and career.
And no, you don't have to wander through the dark anymore. Our job is to light the fire that shows you the way. Let's go. Well, you know that I like compliments.
We got a really nice one.
I wanted to read it because it's not technically a rating or a review, but it was such a nice message. I asked her if I could share it, and she said, sure. And it also might prompt people who haven't given us a rating or a review to just go ahead and do that. This was through Instagram, but probably because she's already given us a podcast rating and review. But I just want to read it because it was so nice. So here I go. Hey, ladies. I just wanted to reach out and say thank you for what you do. I purchased the short course a couple years back after discovering your passion profile quiz, and it's really helped me find clarity about what it is I want to do with my life. The most important thing I learned from you is that we need to learn not only what it is we want to do, but how we want to do it. And when I heard you say that, and eventually I then understood it, it changed the trajectory of my life. I think this is something that as a society, we don't acknowledge enough. And I think that how we do something is just as, if not more important than the what of what we do. Thank you for sharing this insight with the world, and I continue to pass along to everyone who needs clarity in finding their path. And that's from Lindsay.
That is so nice, Lindsay.
Who is at Joelle by Design on Instagram, and she's a fashion illustrator in Philly.
Very cool.
Very cool drawings. I'm like looking at them right now. They're very chic.
I'm so bad at all social media that Rachel had to text me and say, hey, go look at our Instagram. There's a really nice comment.
Yeah.
Or else God knows how long it would have been till I saw that. But it made my day.
Well, thank you, Lindsay, for that really nice message. And
also the really nice inadvertent testimonial for our passion profile short course.
Yeah. So if you're new to Clarity on Fire and you don't know where to start, just as a heads up, take the passion profile quiz. It'll take you like 11 questions and 2 minutes. That's it.
Really quick.
And then you can download your PDF and you can read more about that. You can also, if you want a little bit more of an in-depth discussion of passion profiles, you could then go get debriefed about the 4 different types. From our December episode, it was a side chat called The 4 Passion Profiles, episode number 75. You could scroll back to 2018.
You just got that memorized. I'm impressed.
With the big ones that we talk about a lot, I kind of know their number sometimes. Yes. You know that I have a steel trap mind for trivia.
Yes, you do. Well, I'll also put that in the episode description so you have an easy link to it.
Sure. So, and then we also have a whole course about, using your passion profile to chart your career direction. So if you're new, that's an excellent place to begin. So that was really neither here nor there. Other than that, I just wanted to lift both of our boats by reading that.
Also, if you want to get a shout out on the podcast, that's another
now
reason
you know how to do it.
Send us a nice comment.
Yeah, give us a nice 5-star rating and review. It's just a nice way to say, hey, I appreciate this thing that you do for free. Okay, so I asked you to bring this one back.
To be honest, I forgot I wrote about this.
I would say that's probably true for 50% of what you've written.
Yeah, it's been a lot already. I mean, we've been writing for years now, so I can't remember everyone. And you were like, didn't you write about falling behind it or feeling like you're behind in life?
I mean, I didn't ask it as a question. I knew that you had written about it, and I asked you to bring it back because people consistently are worried about that. I'm worried about that at times. So, it's a thing. It's just so hard to divorce yourself from the need to keep up.
Yeah. Well, and I explained in my blog why we get stuck in this. Because we're all in it. I have a lot of theories too, and I share some of them, as well as what really matters, which is how to stop in this blog. So I'm bringing it back in case you need a reminder. I need a reminder. I think we all need to be reminded of this, especially in the social media age when we're all comparing ourselves to others constantly.
I mean, to be fair, as the historical nerd that I am, it probably wasn't any easier 100 years ago when if you weren't married by 23, you were a spinster.
True.
So like you had to keep up or else you were leftovers. No one wanted you if you were 25. Can you imagine being ancient and decrepit at 25?
Oh, God, help us.
I mean, without sunscreen, it may have actually looked like that. I'm not sure. But I think that this is a human thing, is what I'm saying.
It is. It is. But it's not helped by social media, that's for sure.
It's not helped by the ability to compare yourself to more than like the 50 people you actually know in your village.
Right. And all in a curated way.
Yes, right. So, okay, I'm going to be happy to refresh myself on this and to force other people to get refreshed on it as well. So, all right, let's hear this.
What to do when you feel like you're behind in life. A client of mine recently wrote to me saying, I feel like at my age, I'm so far behind and need to be insanely productive every single day. She was referring to feeling behind in her career, which is something I hear all the time from my clients, regardless of their age, by the way. But feeling behind can spill into every area of your life. If your friends start getting married while you're still single, it can make you feel behind. When your colleagues all have mortgages and you're still renting a tiny apartment, it can make you feel behind. When you scroll through social media and see all of your high school friends posting baby pictures, it can make you feel behind. If you see someone else living out your dream career and you're still stuck at the same old company, it can make you feel behind. What's going on to make us all feel like we're falling behind? It makes sense why so many of us are feeling this way. For the first 18 or more years of our lives, we're all pretty much on the same trajectory. While we're in school, our paths are mostly laid out for us. We're among peers, growing and going through the same milestones at the same general pace. Then after high school or college, we start going off in different directions, and the comparison about who's ahead and who's behind starts to get murky. So because we don't have clear indicators of measuring progress anymore, the way we did when we were in school, we end up comparing how behind we are based on external things we can see, like promotions, marriages, kids, houses, and other external mile markers. We forget that these factors are completely irrelevant. Many of the people you see with all of the external things aren't necessarily happy and content with their lives. Trust me on this one. I've coached a lot of those people, and I know what's going on under the surface of that carefully curated Instagram feed. So because we're all human, which means we're not going to be able to live in a bubble and stop comparing ourselves to other people, let's come up with a new way of measuring our progress. One that's true and accurate and takes into account what deeply matters. One big shift to stop feeling behind. I'll admit, I used to feel weighed down by the I'm so behind in life mentality too. It felt like everywhere I looked, people were progressing faster than me, hitting milestones earlier, climbing their ranks with more ease, figuring things out faster, leaving me in the dust wondering, how did I fall so far behind? I thought the reason I felt this way was because I was doing something wrong. Maybe I'd focused on the wrong things after graduation, or maybe I just wasn't meant to have the things that seemed to come so easily to other people. But that wasn't it at all. My comparison actually had nothing to do with what had happened or not happened in my life so far. It had everything to do with how I was feeling about my life at the time. When I was unhappy with my job or my living situation or my social life, my first instinct was to look around and assume the reason for my unhappiness was because I lacked something that other people had. But now I know better. At this point in my life, I still haven't hit a lot of the life milestones for a happy existence, according to societal norms at least. Marriage, kids, house with a big backyard, luxurious vacations, etc. But I no longer worry about being behind. That's because I genuinely like the life I've built for myself because it aligns with what I most care about. The reason I was unhappy before wasn't because I was behind. It was because I didn't know how to measure my life according to the things that actually matter to me. A new way to measure your progress in life. So here's how I measure my life nowadays to assess my progress and my happiness in a much deeper, more fulfilling way. I think these metrics apply to just about everyone, but feel free to edit this list based on what matters most to you. How fulfilled I feel on a regular basis. For me personally, this comes down to the kind of impact I'm having on other people and on the world at large. If I am promoting positivity, especially nowadays in the midst of so much negativity, to even one person, I can confidently check this box. How happy and content I feel each day. In my definition, this means creating a life of freedom, ease, creativity, deep connection, and lots of spaciousness. It has almost nothing to do with what I have or whether I've quote unquote made it in life. The quality of my relationships. When I look around at all the amazing people I've attracted into my life who I can 100% be myself with, I know I'm doing something right. How well I'm taking care of my health. By this, I mean holistic health, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. My focus on personal growth and constant learning. There's a great quote out there that says, if you're not growing, you're dying. I feel this on a personal level. When I'm stagnating, it feels like soul death. I always want to be learning something new. If these are more accurate factors for determining how ahead or behind you are in life, then you've probably made way more progress than you thought. Plus, the beauty of this new list of metrics for measuring happiness and progress is that you can achieve all of these things in some way or another, regardless of your life circumstances. So what happens when you stop feeling behind and adopt this new metric for progress? Well, you're not allowed to compare your life with someone else's social media highlight reel because you have no idea how that person measures up to your new criteria for success. You seek out people who are genuinely happy and fulfilled so you can learn from them, instead of isolating yourself from the people who have all the external stuff that you think you want because they inadvertently make you feel bad. You stop burning yourself out trying to make up for lost time because you realize that you're much further along than you thought you were. You seek out experiences that bring you joy, excitement, and deep contentment instead of reactively chasing external career and life mile markers in an attempt to catch up, which likely won't make you happy anyway. Look, it's okay to still want to hit those external mile markers. It's natural to want the great job, the family, the beautiful house, and all of that. You want those things for a reason, and it's even perfectly natural to feel jealous when you have a strong desire for something. I'm certainly not telling you not to want the things you want. I'm just asking you to seriously question why you want those things in the first place. Pursuing external markers of success simply because you feel behind isn't the right reason and isn't going to lead to the results you want. On the other hand, when you make pursuing your new, internal metrics for measuring progress the ones you care most about, the external ones are bound to follow naturally. So, have you been feeling behind lately? How will you define your new mile markers for measuring your progress? Leave a comment to let me know.
Okay, we have a few recommended listening suggestions, whatever, for you if you want to get more into this topic or like swim in the waters adjacent to this topic. So the first one is one you wrote back in April 2018. I do not know the number of this one off the top of my head, but it's called Why I Love Jealousy and You Should Too.
You can see why that one would be relevant because you're probably comparing yourself to others and that's why you feel behind and you're jealous of where they are. So there's another one that I think would be good for you to go to next, which is Stop Looking for Evidence of What You Don't Want, which was published in November 2018. Maybe stop looking at all the things you don't have and see what you already have that you're not giving yourself credit for. That might help.
And the last one you put on this list is one I wrote in January 2019, which feels like a month ago, but was actually 6 months ago. Oh, God.
Only slightly terrifying.
It's called Do You Want It or Do You Only Think You Should Want It? Which is, I really like that, the idea of getting clear on, do you want something for real or are you shoulding yourself?
Yep.
Basically. So, okay. Those are some handy little suggestions for delving down the rabbit hole of overwhelming amounts of info we have for you.
I know. We have so much now that I feel like it's helpful for you guys to have some guidance on where to go next if you liked this one.
Okay. And we will be back on Friday with a new interview with a normal person. Do you want to give them any sort of like, I don't know, a teaser, like a hot little tasty snack preview of what's about to happen?
Yeah. I'll be interviewing a client of mine who... This is going to terrify some of you. She got what, by all respects, should have been her absolute dream job. And on day one was like, uh-oh, I hate this. So what do I do with my life when I hate what I thought was my dream job?
Yeah, that's a big whoops.
Yeah, there's a lot of existential questioning that comes up after that. So we get into that.
Did you talk at all about like how someone might have prevented that? Like, to get to the point where you don't have to end up in a dream job that you thought was a dream job only to...
Well, the interesting thing is that she actually kind of had to go through all the experiences that she went through to realize what she does want to do.
Yeah, which is a fair point.
I'm not even sure preventing it would have served her in this situation.
Well, no, that's an equally fair and necessary point for people to hear, is that sometimes you actually have to get that high only to fall, but then end up fine in the end.
Right.
Which I'm sure it's not the end, but she's a lot better off now, I think, than when she was when she realized, uh-oh, this isn't what I want.
Exactly. She kind of had to do all that to get here.
All right. Well, that'll be... I mean, I haven't listened to that, clearly. So I'm going to be interested to hear that because I kind of like a good, I don't know, like a redemption arc. Like I got really high and then I fell really far and I don't know what to do next. Okay. So we will be back on Friday with that.
See you then.